2 Samuel chapter 3. The war between the house of Shaul and the house of David dragged on, but David grew stronger, while the house of Shaul became weaker. Sons were born to David in Hebron. His firstborn was Ammon, whose mother was Achinoam from Israel. His second, Kilav, whose mother was Abigail, the widow of Nabal from Carmel. The third, Avshalom, whose mother was Maacah, the daughter of Talmai, king of Geshur. The fourth, Adoniah, the son of Haggith. The fifth, Shephatiah, the son of Avital. And the sixth, Uritam, whose mother was Eglah, David's wife. These were born to David in Hebron. During the war that was going on between the house of Shaul and the house of David, Abner strengthened his position in the house of Shaul. Shaul had a concubine named Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, and Ishbosheth challenged Abner. "Why did you go and sleep with my father's concubine?" These words of Ishbosheth's enraged Abner. "What am I," he shouted, "that you treat me with such contempt? A doghead in Yehudah? Till this moment I have shown only kindness to the house of Shaul your father, and to his brothers and to his friends, and I haven't handed you over to David. Yet you choose today to pick a fight with me over this woman. May God bring terrible curses on Abner, and worse ones yet, if I don't accomplish what Adonai swore to David, to transfer the kingdom from the house of Shaul and set up the throne of David over Israel and Yehudah, from Dan all the way to Beersheba." Ishbosheth couldn't answer Abner a word, because he was afraid of him. Abner immediately sent envoys to David with this message: "Who is going to control the land? If you make yourself my ally, I will use my power to bring all Israel over to you." David sent this reply: "Very well, I will be your ally, on one condition: you will not come into my presence unless at the same time you bring with you Milcah, Shaul's daughter." David sent messengers to say to Ishbosheth, the son of Shaul, "Give me back my wife Michal. I betrothed her to myself for 100 foreskins of the Philistine." Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, Paltiel, the son of Laish. Her husband went with her, crying as he wept, and followed her to Bahurim. But when Abner told him, "Go back," he returned. Then Abner conferred with the leaders of Israel. He said, "In the past you wanted David to be king over you, so now do it. For Adonai has said of David, 'Through my servant I will rescue my people Israel from the power of the Philistine and from the power of all their enemies.'" Abner also spoke with the people of Benjamin. Then Abner went to Hebron and reported to David everything that had been agreed to by Israel and the house of Benjamin. When Abner came to David in Hebron, he brought 20 men with him. David held a feast for Abner and his men. Abner said to David, "I must get up and go to gather all Israel to my lord the king, so that they can make a covenant with you. Then you will be able to rule over everything your heart desires." David sent Abner off, giving him safe conduct. Just then, David's men and Joab returned from a raid, bringing a lot of plunder with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, because he had sent off under safe conduct. When Joab and all his army had arrived, Joab was told, "Abner the son of Ner came to the king, but he sent him off, and he has left under safe conduct." Joab went to the king and said, "What have you done? Here Abner came to you, and you sent him away, and now he's gone. Why? You know Abner the son of Ner. He came only to deceive you, to learn what campaigns you're planning, and to find out everything you're doing." After leaving David, Joab sent messengers after Abner, and they brought him back with the water cistern at Sirah without David's knowledge. Upon Abner's return to Hebron, Joab took him aside into the space between the outer and inner city gates, as if to speak with him privately, and there he struck him in the groin, so that he died, thus avenging the death of Ashiel, his brother. Afterwards, when David heard of it, he said, "I and my kingdom are forever innocent of the death of Abner the son of Ner. Let it fall on the head of Joab and all his father's family. May Joab's family always have someone with a hemorrhage, or Sa'arat, or who has to walk with a cane, or who dies by the sword, or who lacks food." Thus Joab and Abishai, his brother, killed Abner, because he had killed their brother Ashael during the battle in Givon. But David said to Joab and all those with him, "Tear your clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourn over Abner." King David himself walked behind the body as it was carried. They buried Abner at Hebron. The king wept aloud at Abner's grave, and all the people wept. The king sang this lament over Abner: "Should Abner have died like a thug? Your hands weren't tied, your feet weren't fettered. You fell like one who falls at the hands of criminals." Then all the people wept over him more than ever. All the people came to David and tried to make him eat some bread while it was still daytime, but David swore, "May God bring terrible curses on me, and worse ones yet, if I taste bread or anything else until the sun goes down." All the people took note of this, and it pleased them. Whatever the king did pleased all the people. So that day all the people in all Israel understood that the king had had no part in the killing of Abner, the son of Ner. The king said to his servants, "You realize that a leader, a great man, has fallen today in Israel. Even though I have just been anointed king, I feel weak today, and these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too brutal for me. May Adonai repay the criminal as his crime deserves."